Every single holiday, my parents had a habit of making me feel invisible. Growing up in Richmond, Virginia, my younger brother, Ethan, was the undisputed center of our family's universe. He was a high school baseball star, then a college athlete, and somehow every single milestone of mine was just an inconvenience that got in the way of Ethan's schedule. I spent years telling myself it was fine. I was the easy kid, the quiet one, the one who never made a scene. I paid my own way through college, worked 2 jobs, and never asked for a dime. But 6 years ago, on the night of my college graduation, everything reached a breaking point. I had invited my parents to a nice steakhouse downtown to celebrate. I paid for the reservation with money I had saved from working night shifts at a warehouse. But when I showed up at the restaurant, the hostess told me my family had already come, eaten, and left. My mom had left a message with the front desk, along with a small, greasy paper bag. The note inside read, "Ethan's team had an emergency post-game meeting, so we had to rush off. We ate your dinner so you wouldn't waste money. Happy graduation, son." Inside the paper bag was a single, cold, half-eaten slice of diner pie. I stood outside that restaurant in the freezing rain, holding that greasy bag. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. Something inside me just snapped. The very next morning, I packed everything I owned into my beat-up sedan. I didn't leave a note. I didn't send a text. I changed my phone number, deleted my social media accounts, and drove 1,500 miles, all the way to Denver, Colorado. I just stopped existing to them. For 6 years, I built a quiet, peaceful life. I got a job as a lead project manager at a commercial design firm. I bought a small, cozy townhome near the mountains. And I met Maya, a kind-hearted high school English teacher who showed me what actual, unconditional love feels like. I thought that chapter of my life was closed forever, until 3 weeks ago. My boss called me into his office on a Tuesday morning. He handed me a folder for a major new client integration. We were onboarding a regional construction vendor, and I was assigned to lead the technical team. I opened the file, skimmed the names of the incoming representatives, and my heart dropped straight into my stomach. There it was, Ethan Miller, Regional Logistics Lead. He was moving to Denver. He was working with my firm, and I was supposed to be his primary point of contact. My first thought was sheer, unadulterated panic. I wanted to walk out, hand in my resignation, and move to another state. 6 years of building a safe haven, and my brain's first instinct was to run away all over again. That evening, I sat on the porch, staring out at the mountains, holding my mug of coffee. Maya walked outside, wrapped her arms around my shoulders, and asked, "Okay, what's going on in that head of yours?" I had told Maya the basic outline of my past. She knew I was estranged, but I had never shared the agonizing details. That night, sitting on the chilly porch, I told her everything. The canceled birthday dinners, the holidays where I slept on the floor, and finally, the cold slice of pie in the greasy paper bag. Maya listened quietly. When I finished, her eyes were filled with tears, but her voice was steady as a rock. She looked at me and said, "You are not that 22-year-old boy sitting on a curb in the rain anymore, Mason. You built this life. You own this space. You do not run." She was right. I decided to handle it like a professional. The following Monday, the new vendor team arrived at our headquarters. I was standing at the front of the conference room, adjusting my presentation slides when the group walked in. And then I heard his voice, that booming, overly confident laugh that used to fill our entire house. I looked up and my eyes met Ethan's. He froze. His jaw literally dropped. He stood there in his tailored suit, staring at me like he had just seen a ghost. I didn't blink. I walked right up to the front of the room, extended my hand professionally, and said, "Welcome to the team, Ethan. I'm Mason Miller, Senior Project Manager. Let's get started." He barely managed to shake my hand. His fingers were trembling. During the lunch break, he cornered me in the hallway. "Mason, is that, is that really you?" he whispered, his voice cracking. "Where have you been? Mom and Dad, they thought you were dead. They spent years looking for you." I looked him dead in the eye and kept my voice perfectly flat. I was living my life, Ethan, a life that didn't involve being pushed into a corner. "Mason, please," he stammered, reaching out. "You can't just act like a stranger. You're my brother." "In this building," I replied, stepping back, "I am your project manager. Our session resumes at 1:30. Don't be late." I thought that would be the end of it for the day, but Ethan, true to family fashion, immediately called our parents. By Thursday afternoon, my phone, which had been silent from home for 6 long years, started blowing up with unknown numbers from Virginia. I didn't answer, but at 5 o'clock, as I pulled into my driveway, I saw a rental car parked right outside my house. My parents were standing on my front lawn. My dad looked older, his hair completely white, his shoulders stooped. My mom was clutching her purse to her chest, her eyes red and swollen. As I stepped out of my truck, my mom sprinted toward me, sobbing, "Mason! Oh my God, Mason, my baby!" I put my hand up, creating a firm, unyielding boundary. "Stop right there, Mom." "Mason, please," my dad called out, his voice thick with emotion. "How could you do this to us? 6 years, not a word? Do you have any idea what you put your mother through?" At that moment, Maya opened the front door and walked out onto the porch. She stood behind me, quiet, composed, and solid as a fortress. I looked at my father, and for the first time in my life, I felt no fear, no urge to apologize, just a cold, crystal clear clarity. "What did I put you through?" I asked, my voice deadly calm. "Dad, do you remember my graduation?" My mom blinked, wiping her eyes. What does graduation have to do with this?" "I ate your dinner," I said, every word crisp and deliberate. "You left me a cold, half-eaten slice of pie in a greasy bag at the front desk because Ethan had a post-game meeting. You didn't even wait for me to walk across the stage. You left me in the rain." Silence hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. My mom's face went pale. "Mason, we thought you understood. Ethan had an important—" "Ethan always had an important something," I cut her off, raising my voice just enough to command the lawn. "For 22 years, I was the ghost in your house. I was only visible when you needed someone to sit in the back seat or give up a bedroom. So 6 years ago, I gave you exactly what you wanted. I disappeared." My dad stepped forward, his fists clenched. "We are your parents, Mason. You don't just erase family." "I erased you first," I said, softly. "And now I have a home. I have a career. I have a woman who loves me, and a life where I am never placed second. You need to leave my property." My mom fell to her knees, weeping bitterly, but my father slowly led her back to the car. Before getting in, my dad turned and said, "We're staying at the Marriott downtown. If you have any heart left, come see us." They drove away. I stood on the pavement, breathing in the fresh mountain air. Maya walked down the steps, took my hand, and whispered, "You did it." The next day at work, Ethan tried to file a complaint with Human Resources, claiming I was creating a hostile work environment. But I had already preemptively documented everything, and HR quickly realized Ethan was using workplace channels to resolve personal family drama. He was given a stern warning and transferred off my project team. 2 weeks later, he requested a transfer back to the East Coast office. Before he left Denver, Ethan sent me an email. It was short. "I talked to Mom and Dad. I never knew about the graduation dinner. I never knew. A lot of things. I'm sorry, Mason. I really am." I read it once, closed the tab, and didn't reply. It has been 3 weeks since that confrontation. My parents returned to Virginia. My mom sends a letter every few days, filled with tearful apologies, begging for a second chance. I keep the letters, unopened, in a wooden box on my desk. Maybe, someday, far down the road, I will open them. Maybe I won't. Because last weekend, I proposed to Maya under the Colorado sky, and she said yes. I realized something important standing on that lawn, looking at my past. Healing doesn't mean forgiving people who never cared enough to see you. Healing means building a table of your own, where there is always an open seat for the people who truly love you. And for the first time in my life, I am finally home.